Hi, I'm Pepper Persley, and this is Rebel Girl Sports Hour. Together, we'll dive into stories of strength, courage, and game-changing moments on and off the field. From snowy mountains to fast racetracks, these iconic women athletes will inspire you to chase your dreams. Now, let's head to the Winter Olympic Games for this next story. We're going to hear about the incredible ice skater, Michelle Kwan. Michelle is the most decorated figure skater in the U.S. She's a 2-time Olympic medalist, a 5-time world champion, and a 9-time U.S. champion. That's amazing! Let's lace up our skates and jump into the story.
Michelle Kwan had just turned 13 when she skated onto the ice in San Antonio, Texas for the Olympic qualifying competition. More than 25,000 spectators were gathered at the Alamodome to see what the fuss was about. Wearing a pink skating dress with a matching scrunchie, young Michelle entered the rink with a big, already triumphant grin. She struck a powerful pose and waited for her music cue. As soon as the first chords kicked in, Michelle leapt, glided, and spun, stunning the crowd with her incredible moves and smooth landings. She looked like a sparkling bird, floating through the air and nailing 6 triple jumps. After she finished her routine, the crowd erupted into cheers. Some of the audience was so moved they threw roses onto the ice. The near-perfect scores rolled in, and Michelle became the youngest figure skater in the U.S. Olympic Festival's history to win the ladies' singles gold medal. She beamed with pride, imagining her life on the ice unfolding in front of her. But could Michelle bring the same radiance to the sport year after year as the pressure to win only grew? Or was winning more about the strength to carry on? Michelle Kwan was born in 1980 in Torrance, California, where her parents, immigrants from Hong Kong, ran a Chinese restaurant. As the youngest of 3 siblings, Michelle was always trying to keep up with the big kids. Her brother Ron played ice hockey. Her sister Karen was into figure skating. Whenever Michelle tagged along to one of their practices, she stood on the sidelines holding her mom's hand, wishing she could be out there too. By the time she was 5, she convinced her parents to let her try. From the beginning, what Michelle loved most was the feeling of stepping onto a wide-open ice rink. It felt like pure freedom, having all that space to herself. To move, to try new things, and to see what her body could do. While watching the Olympics on TV at age 7, Michelle envisioned herself twirling and swirling around the ice rink too. She knew she could do it. In fact, she stood up and announced to her family that one day she would skate in the Olympics. Soon, Michelle started waking up at 4 in the morning to practice skating before school. She was so dedicated, she slept in her ice skates so she could pop out of bed, ready to go. Then when she was 10, Michelle and her sister got invited to train at a very elite skating school. It was far away from their home, and the girls would have to change their lives completely. Their parents said if Michelle and Karen were ready to make that kind of commitment, the family would get on board. The sisters both said yes. At that higher level of figure skating, there was a lot of attention to how girls looked, which Michelle found confusing. She was used to wearing hand-me-down skating dresses and focusing on discipline and form, not fashion. Once, someone Michelle admired told her she might get better scores if she wore more makeup. Michelle was shocked, but she didn't reach for the mascara. Instead, she decided right then and there to be herself, no matter what. Michelle's opinion of herself mattered more than any judge's score. When Michelle was 12, she made another big decision. She asked her coach if she could compete with the seniors, against the most promising figure skaters in the country, instead of the juniors with other kids. Michelle's coach said no, he didn't think she was ready. But Michelle was adamant. She signed up to skate in the seniors, and she surprised everyone by ranking 6th in the nation. She landed more triple jumps in the competition than any of the 5 women who placed ahead of her. Michelle was excited by the chance to challenge herself and leap over other people's expectations. That's how she got to the Alamodome at age 13 with a smile already on her face. She looked at each chance on the ice as a new moment to experience fully and to shine. She kept daring herself to leap higher and add new elements to her routines. She wanted to try it all. For the next few years, Michelle kept on capturing titles and getting accolades, including her first world champion title in figure skating. Then, when she was 17, she actually made her childhood dream come true. She got to skate in the Olympics in Nagano, Japan. She felt a chill on her skin as she found her place on the ice, but she stood up straight, lifted her chin, and took a slow, deep breath to center herself. This was the moment she'd been waiting for since she was 7, her Olympic free skate, and she was favored to win the gold. A hush fell over the crowd. They'd been waiting for this moment, too. Michelle skated exquisitely that day, holding her body with unwavering grace. She began by taking delicate steps backwards on the tips of her blades, before building up to astonishing twists in midair, executed with poise and precision. Her routine was anything but easy, but she made it look effortless. Michelle took home the silver in the Nagano Games that year, not the gold. When reporters asked how it felt to lose, Michelle objected. She hadn't lost anything. She'd won the silver. She'd made it to the Olympics, fulfilling a lifelong dream. She had no regrets about her performance. And yet, she wondered, could she win the gold? Setting her sights on the next Olympics, she wanted to make sure she was still in it for the right reasons. Wanting the gold that got away wasn't enough to keep her skating. She needed her heart to be in it, day in and day out, or no medal would be worth the grueling training. When Michelle did return to the Olympics in 2002, her fans were thrilled. They couldn't wait to watch her skate in Salt Lake City. She was mesmerizing to watch. Her footwork was astounding as she lifted into the air in axels and lutzes. But then, about halfway through her complicated routine, Michelle stepped into a triple flip, lost her balance, and then fell hard. The crowd gasped, unsure what would happen next. What happened was, Michelle kept skating. Not just skating, but smiling. She ended her performance with a dazzling spin. Then she stomped on the ice and threw her head back, her heart lifted toward the ceiling, her arms falling to her sides in a courageous final pose. She looked like a triumphant warrior. When Michelle came off the ice, her dad sat beside her on the bench. Michelle knew she wouldn't take home the gold. More importantly, though, she took her dad's hand and said, "I didn't give up." She was heartbroken, but also proud of how she made the best of it. Michelle performed in one more event at the 2002 Olympics in an unforgettable display of passion and grace, set to the song Fields of Gold. No longer competing for that gold medal, Michelle skated for joy and joy alone, and it showed. Her arms and legs seemed to stretch longer than ever before. Her strides were lyrical. She grinned like she was having the time of her life. Tears of gratitude streamed down her cheeks. And when she finished, fans threw stuffed animals and flowers onto the rink for the skater they still considered the best in the world. Michelle won 9 U.S. championships, 5 world titles, and 2 Olympic medals. But her impact is far greater than any of these shiny awards. After retiring from competitive skating, she became an ambassador for the Special Olympics, and now she serves as a U.S. ambassador, helping to bring harmony to international relations. Michelle's commitment to her dreams continues to evolve and inspire others, because she knows that the biggest challenge sometimes is getting back up and continuing with all your heart. That's what it means to be a rebel.
That was so cool. It's awesome to hear all the ways Michelle pushes herself to overcome challenges. It's a great reminder that you can do anything, Rebels.
Welcome to Rebel Girls Sport. I'm Lyric, and today I get to talk to Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes. Hi, Jordan and Justine. Thanks so much for joining me today. To kick things off, can you tell us each a little bit about yourselves?
I am originally from Southern California, and I grew up playing volleyball around 6-7 years old. Had both parents that played at some capacity, and I think that's really what drove me to keep playing volleyball and play in the state of Nebraska, because they really love their volleyball.
I was born and raised in Hooper, Nebraska, small town. Both my parents were multi-sport athletes. I was also a multi-sport athlete. I kind of fell in love with all different kinds of sport, but really fell in love with volleyball and still loving every minute.
That's awesome. What brings you two together, specifically? What's the story behind your friendship and the connection on the court?
USA, the national team, has brought us together initially.
Also being an alumni of Nebraska, we've shared a lot of moments and memories over the last, how long have you been playing now? 8 years? It's crazy.
Yeah. It's so special because Jordan is a player that you always look up to and you always want to share the court with her. So I definitely don't take for granted ever sharing the court with her. And I'm just so, blessed that we're able to continue to do that.
Jay is the most always smiling, very loves everyone. So it's really fun to be able to be around that every day and just surrounded by positivity.
Okay, we're gonna go back to the past a little bit. How did you first discover your love for volleyball? Was there a specific moment when you thought about this is my thing?
I was actually talking to one of our teammates today, and she's like, volleyball is one of the only sports that you truly need everyone to contribute. If you can't pass, you can't set, and then you can't set, you can't kill. You need all these moving pieces, and we strive for perfection every day, but it's just being good over time, and it wins a lot of matches.
Okay, now we're going to move on to the Paris 2024 Olympics. What was it like working together to represent the U.S. and achieve a silver medal?
I felt so honored to be standing with that group of women because we all truly embraced whatever was thrown at us. We handled it with such grace and just felt really just so rewarding.
It's been a dream of mine, and now to see the other side of it, it's still surreal to me. So it's pretty cool.
Playing at such a high level must be really intense with Olympics and pro and everything. How do you deal with failure or disappointment?
I feel like our gym celebrates failure. I remember Coach talking about we need to fail fast because we need to learn, be able to learn. And with that, you kind of get comfortable with this or have this relationship with failure so that it's not as scary. When things get hard in the match, we have something to draw on because we've been there before.
That fail fast, I really like that. That was good. I'm gonna tell my team that. Okay.
There you go.
And on a bigger scale, how has playing volleyball made you feel more confident as a person, as a player, both on and off the court?
I think that's what's so cool about a team sport is you're all trying to reach this bigger goal. And I think that can be, applied to both on the court and off the court.
It's so much bigger than the game though too. It's about how do you show up and be a good person every day, be a good example for the young girls growing up, and they can see you as, something to strive for. It really sets a great foundation of how to just try to be a good person and add to the community as well.
As you both know, big matches can be extremely stressful. Do you guys have any strategies for staying calm or being extremely focused or dialed in?
I think the one thing that I always relied on was that I'm not in it alone and that it's okay to ask for help when you're struggling. I think that's given me a ton of comfort to know that whatever I do, my teammates have my back.
From experience, just believing in yourself, I think goes a long way. What's in your heart and how passionate you are about what you're doing and that belief in yourself can really take you a long way.
And I think also too, going in and asking coaches, how do I get better? What can I do? And what are you seeing? Which in turn, I think helped me have more confidence and knowing how I felt more prepared in that moment.
Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about something a lot of girls think about but might not discuss enough: periods. They can be tough, especially when you're competing. How do you handle your period during matches and or tournaments?
I still get self-conscious. I think especially because we're a sport that is so exposed, wearing spandex, I think that can be, I don't know, an insecurity. I think for me, I'm always like, okay, hey, can you make sure that I'm not bleeding anywhere?
The more I got comfortable just like open talking about it, like it allowed more freedom for people to understand. And now with social media, there's a ton of information out there of just how to better like understand your body as you're going through this crazy transition.
That's really great advice. Now you're both role models to lots of girls. What advice do you have for the next generation of players chasing their dreams?
I like wrote my goals down when I was a kid, and I think like they were just inherently like ingrained in me, and then my parents knew about them. And so I think whenever there was like a turning point in my career, it was always like, hey, I want to go out with friends. And my parents would be like, okay, but you have practice tomorrow. Like, what would be like a smart decision to make now, right? And I think just dream big, like really, honestly. I know that sounds so cliche, but it's like, just write it down and like talk about it. And like, I was like, sometimes in high school I'd walk around and be like, I'm gonna be an Olympian, you know, but I like truly believed it.
I think if you're passionate about something, like keep driving towards that passion, because I think as a younger kid or athlete, like it's really important to set goals in mind and really share it with like your family and friends so that they can try to keep you also accountable.
I think everyone, and me especially, I'd love to know what makes you a rebel girl.
For me, in kind of this point in my career, I really just want to educate the young girls and young athletes. Like, I'm so excited to be able to work with like Premier Volleyball and Rebel Girls and be able to kind of give back to the sport that has given me so much. I hope one day like you, Lyric, are able to, you know, play pro volleyball in America, and that just excites me a lot.
I think like Jay said, like giving back to something that has given me so much. And like Lyric, we were you know, and like I just burst with so much pride because it's like you get to see now in real time like what it's like to live out a dream. And I just think like what the sport does, you know, for you as a human, like learning leadership skills, adversity, how to manage relationships, right, on and off the court. I mean, there's just so many lessons that come with being a part of it that I think, yeah, I'm excited to mentor and continue to watch this sport grow.
Thank you so much, Jordan and Justine. You are both so inspiring. See you next time, and stay rebel.
Our next story is about the fastest woman of all time. Her name was Florence Griffith-Joyner, but her fans knew her as FloJo. Don't blink or you might miss her sprinting by, maybe in one of her famous and fashionable one-legged tracksuits. Olympic gymnast Jordan Chiles brings us her story. On your marks, get set, go!
It was a hot summer morning at the 1988 Olympic Stadium in Seoul, South Korea, and all eyes were on the running track. This was the women's 100 meters, the fastest race in the Olympics, and whoever won the gold medal would officially become the fastest woman in the world. Florence Griffith-Joyner jogged up to her slot in lane number 3. She was decked out in her team's uniform, along with glittering bracelets, long, flowing hair, bright red lipstick, and 6-inch long fingernails, painted red, white, blue, and gold. Nobody had ever seen an athlete look this glamorous at the Olympics. They'd always appear stern and neutral, but not FloJo. She believed that fashion fueled her, and she was determined to win this race with style. FloJo crouched down into her starting position. Her feet found the block behind her, and she tucked her chin to her chest. She could feel her muscles strong and taut, prepared to do what they did best. FloJo was just like a firecracker, lit and ready to explode. Florence Griffith was born in Los Angeles, California, the 7th of 11 children. The Griffith household was very hectic, but they loved each other dearly and were very close. Florence was always full of energy and exciting new ideas, especially when it came to sports and fashion. She loved sewing her own clothes for her Barbie dolls and constantly tried on her mother's dresses. She did handstand competitions with her siblings and neighbors and rode to the store on a unicycle. When she played ball with her brothers in the street, Florence was fast and fierce. if she lost or got knocked down, she bounced right back up, eager to prove herself. She also dressed up for their games, wearing her good clothes and combing her hair. She didn't need to look scrappy to feel just as strong. Florence's competitive spirit led her to join the Sugar Ray Robinson Youth Foundation, where she could try out all kinds of sports: basketball, volleyball, football, and track. She liked all the sports well enough, but it was running that really ignited a flame inside her. And she was good at it. Soon, she was running track at school, thrilled to be a part of the team. Her teachers and classmates were amazed by her speed and the bright smile that always erupted when she crossed the finish line. But there was one thing that Florence couldn't stand. She hated their uniforms. She didn't understand why they had to wear such silly, drab outfits. Florence convinced her relay teammates to pair long tights with their track uniforms. She was sure it would help fuel their fires too. As Florence liked to say, dress good to look good to feel good, and feel good to run fast. Whether it was her outfits, her determination, her muscle power, or a combination of all three, Florence was soon setting school records in the long jump and sprints. And that was just the beginning. Sprinting and striding may have given Florence a great sense of freedom and power, but her life outside of running was challenging. Track and field wasn't a popular sport at the time, and resources to finance athletes' careers, especially female athletes, were still not available. Florence started college at California State University at Northridge, but soon had to drop out to work and help support her family. It took a while, but with the help of her coach, she was able to get financial aid to study at UCLA. It was here that she hoped to get professional training and guidance. But when she wasn't at the track or going to classes, Florence still had to get a job to make ends meet. This meant long nights working as a beautician, braiding hair, and doing nails. It was exhausting. When Florence was 20 years old, she was selected to go to the American Olympic trials. It was thrilling, but nerve-wracking. Florence had never competed at this level before. She gave it her all, but still placed fourth. There was little time to be disappointed, though. Florence was soon head over heels in love. At those same Olympic trials, the famous triple jumper Al Joyner saw Florence sprint. He was speechless. He had never seen a woman so fast or so beautiful. Al waited for her to finish running and then introduced himself. She was impressed with how respectful and polite he was. An established athlete himself, Al offered to coach Florence on her path to the Olympics. She was delighted to say yes and went back to UCLA smitten. For the next few years, they trained and competed as their friendship blossomed into romance. Florence graduated from UCLA with a degree in psychology and soon after won her first silver medal at the Olympics. And in 1987, when Florence and Al got married, she officially became Florence Griffith-Joyner. Or, as she liked to be called, FloJo. As she trained for the greatest competition of her life, FloJo's routine became even more intense. She began every day with 90 minutes of weightlifting, then sprinted home to cook her special shrimp Creole for dinner, rushed back out for some braiding jobs, and came back home for some painting or writing before her last workout of the day. Either another run or just a set of curls on the hamstring machine that sat in the Joyner kitchen. She was improving in both the 100 and 200 meter races, her muscles propelling her around the track faster and faster. And her clothes were getting better too. At the U.S. Olympic Trials in Indianapolis on July 16, 1988, FloJo donned a purple one-legger speed suit with a turquoise patterned bikini bottom. In the quarterfinal round of the 100 meters, she demolished the competition and set a new world record of 10.49 seconds.
No one can run that fast. The heat must be doing something to the electronics,
the ABC announcer said skeptically. But FloJo could not be held back by the doubters. People were clearly stunned by her speed and strength and looking for ways to prove she was cheating or wrong. FloJo stayed calm. She knew she'd won fair and square. And just as her mother had taught her to do, FloJo treated everyone with kindness, even those who didn't believe in her. She focused all her energy into having fun and pursuing her goals. And in 1988, that goal was to take the Seoul Olympics by storm. And that brings us back to the hot summer morning at the Olympic Stadium. Crouched on the starting line, FloJo took a deep breath and tucked her head down, feeling the fire inside her start to burn brighter and brighter. Ready, set, go. All 8 runners threw themselves off the starting blocks, their bodies flying over the track. FloJo quickly pulled ahead of the group, the crowd shouting and cheering her on. Halfway through the race, FloJo switched gears and accelerated so fast that everybody else lagged 5 meters behind her. She was leaving them in the dust. Realizing her huge lead, FloJo threw her arms up well before crossing the finish line, a dazzling smile spreading across her face. She knew nobody could catch her. The gold medal was hers. After that historic win, FloJo went on to win 2 more gold medals at the Seoul Olympics, one for the 200 meters and one for the 4x100 relay. Then, at the last minute, she was asked to run in the 4x400 relay, hoping to bring home a 4th gold medal. She and her team ran hard and won the silver. Sure, it wasn't the gold, but her split was the fastest in U.S. history at the time. She treasured that silver medal, maybe even more than the golds, because it symbolized the trust that her country put in her, and she loved being a part of a powerful team. FloJo announced her retirement just 5 months after those record-breaking Olympic runs. She felt like she couldn't maintain this level of fitness as well as traveling and starting a family. Plus, she wanted to pursue other careers and continue to build her legacy off the track. She designed 2 fashion lines in Japan, and fans recognized her on the street calling, "Joyner-san!" Next, she was asked to design uniforms for the American basketball team, the Pacers. Designing for big basketball-playing men stretched her creativity. How could she make their clothes unique without her favorite pinks or lace? In the end, she designed many different possibilities, and the team picked one with big yellow and white rays down the side. Her creativity led her to all kinds of exciting pursuits. She wrote children's books, made guest appearances on TV sitcoms, and signed contracts with Coca-Cola and Mitsubishi Motors. She was named co-chairwoman of the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, and worked with inner-city children through her FloJo International Foundation. She even had a FloJo Barbie doll, complete with its own one-legger speed suit. FloJo loved traveling the world and sharing her different passions. She looked forward to cultivating the next great record setters and never tired of being the best-dressed person in the room. Tragically, FloJo died very young of an unexpected illness. Yet, she remains a role model for so many young athletes, hoping to follow in her lightning-fast footsteps. Her speed and grace, along with her still unbeaten record, inspire people all over the globe. And when we talk about all that she accomplished, being the fastest, the strongest, the most fashionable, that's only part of the story. FloJo's spectacular smile and indomitable spirit are beyond compare. The way she faced criticism and doubt, the way she took care of her family, her body, and her soul, these are what make her a true rebel. As FloJo used to say, I believe in the impossible because no one else does.
That one gets me every time. FloJo always makes me believe in the impossible. She's such an inspiration to me and so many others. One of those people is our narrator for the story, Olympic gymnast Jordan Chiles. Jordan competed in the 2020 and the 2024 Olympic Games and has both gold and silver medals. Now, Rebel host Aria is going to ask her about falling in love with gymnastics, handling the pressure of the Olympics, and what she does to feel her best. Take it away, Aria.
Hi, Jordan. It's nice to meet you. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am Jordan Chiles. I'm originally from Washington State. I am bi-coastal, so I live between Texas and LA. I am a gymnast. I was on the 2020 Tokyo Olympic team, or 2021, whichever one you prefer. And I am just living life as best as I can.
Awesome. So, when did you first discover your love of gymnastics?
I always say gymnastics fell in love with me, not so me falling in love with gymnastics, because it helped me. I had really bad ADHD when I was younger, and having gymnastics being a part of my life, I really enjoyed being able to, go to school and explain to everybody what I did. So the love definitely was there when I first started, but truly finding the love was around 10, 11 years old.
Cool. You did some pretty amazing tricks. Do you have a favorite gymnastics move?
So for me, I just like being able to fly. I like superheroes, so if I'm wanting to fly like Spider-Man, I would say maybe like a release move on bars, which are really cool and really unique to see for sure.
Wow, that sounds intense. Speaking of intense, how did it feel to compete at the 2020 Olympic Games?
Being at the Olympics, I can say a lot of people are always like, oh my gosh, you've done this for 3-4 months. Like, no, I've been training since I was 6.5, 7 years old. It's not just a 1-year situation. It's not just 4 years. It's my whole life. So knowing that I was able to finally put that cherry on top of my amazing ice cream sundae that I had, and being able to, experience such a cool and unique and different, Olympics, because obviously, yes, there was COVID. There was a lot of things. We didn't have spectators. We weren't allowed to really explore Tokyo like that. So those were the different things that not every Olympic person gets to experience, but the memories, the people, the things that I was able to take away from it. I'm always going to be in a history book. I'm always going to be known as, an Olympian no matter what. It was all an amazing memory. Stressful, but I survived.
Oh yeah. How do you handle all that stress and pressure at a competition?
I can't even say that competing is stressful. I think it's more leading up to, making sure you are doing everything you can for yourself. Making sure that you have the ability to look back and be like, wow, I was able to put everything I had, everything that I needed to, into this one life goal. But before a competition, I'm stress-free. I'm out there dancing with my teammates, whether I'm listening to music. I always pray with my family because I don't want to be too in my head before I have to get onto an apparatus or an event. So being able to, explore into different ways to bring my mind down at ease, that's definitely what I do. So I'm not really too stressed. I think it's more so the part of leading up to it.
Nice. Both you and FloJo are known for your incredible style. She used to say, dress good to look good to feel good, and feel good to run fast. Do you have a clothing item that makes you feel powerful?
So yes, I love fashion. Fashion has been a part of me since I was little. Honestly, FloJo, her style was within her clothes, her hair, her nails, her everything. It was her beauty, just in general. For me, though, I'm a sneakerhead. My shoe is what makes me very powerful. My shoe is something that it's like when people are like, I have too many purses and that's their statement. No, my statement is the shoe. You give me a perfect shoe, I will make a whole outfit around it. But then also my hair. I was taught and raised to, love and embrace what my hair looks like. Being able just to find different ways to be unique with myself. Those are the two things that really make me feel very powerful and that I can be very authentic to who I am.
I love that. You became a Nike athlete this year, which was a big deal. Can you tell us what that means to you?
Well, yes, I'm a Nike athlete. I've been a part of Nike since I was an infant. My grandma and my grandpa, they used to work for Nike. And when I was younger, I told my mom, I said, Mom, one day I'm going to be a Nike athlete. I don't know when, I don't know what it's going to be for, but I'm going to be a Nike athlete. So having this opportunity to be a Nike athlete and embracing who I am, the authentic side of me, and knowing that they've been with me since I was, itty bitty, definitely I get to enjoy so much more.
Very cool. So you're only 23 and you've accomplished so many things already. What's the next big goal that you're working towards?
There is more. There's more of Jordan. I want to give back to my community in some way, shape, or form. I want to be able to, experience things that not a lot of people get to experience at such a young age. You might see me in a movie. You might see me as a director. You might see me as a producer. You might see me as somebody who just, may go to a whole different sport for a whole different Olympics. So yeah, you never know where you'll see Jordan. I do have to say that. So my main focus right now is Paris Olympics. They're this year in 2024. So these next 6 months will definitely be a push, and can't wait to see where life takes me right after.
That sounds amazing. Good luck with your training, Jordan. And thank you so much for talking with us today.
No, thank you guys so much for having me. This was a huge opportunity. Honestly, you don't understand when things come in like this and I have the ability to tell somebody else's story. Just makes me feel like, one day somebody will tell my story. That's just how I see it. And for somebody who's been an icon, a legend, and is still talked about till this day, although she has, she's passed and all that stuff, is just crazy to me. So giving me this opportunity to tell someone like FloJo, honestly, I have no words for sure. I really appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity, and I thank you guys so much.
That's incredible. It was our pleasure. Thanks again, Jordan. And thank you for listening.
Jordan, there is no doubt that someone will one day tell your story. It's already happening. It's been so fun to hear about all of these Olympic athletes and the hard work, dedication, and talent that it takes to be the best of the best. Tune in next time for more incredible stories of women athletes. You can find more amazing stories and interviews at youtube.com/rebelgirls. Tune in next time and stay rebel.